Welcome to Sell Like Crazy. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to craft the perfect date when it comes to the first meeting with a prospect. This is where first impressions do last. I can't stress to you how important the incoming experience for a prospect is for the ultimate longevity and potential success of the client. It's so important that I would ballpark it and say 95% of their result comes down to how you treat them within the first initial contact to them paying money. And if you set this up correctly, you're going to have a higher customer LTV, lifetime value. You're going to have a higher customer satisfaction, and you're going to get way more 5-star reviews, which will bump you up and you'll get more discovered. So if that sounds like something that would be beneficial to you and your business, uh, let's just dive in. Hey, how about that? So ultimately, most sales consults suck because they're not designed to sell fitness programs. If I cast my memory back to when I first learned about sales over a decade ago, the sales manual I was given was the typical sit down, ask a whole bunch of questions, then at the end present your package. Have a high package, a low package, and ask them which way they want to go. And whilst that was a good process, it helped me sell a lot of programs. It wasn't a process I enjoyed, and I could feel on the other side of the table that the other person wasn't quite enjoying themselves as well. Nonetheless, I followed the advice of the gurus, and I did that for at least the next decade, right up until that 6 months ago. And it was 6 months ago where we were Facebook advertising, selling 28-day programs, and I had an aha moment. I thought to myself, why are we sitting down to sell movement? It's not very congruent, is it? I always wondered why sales was a grind. It was a grind that I accepted. It was something that I heard that, yes, you have to hear a lot of no's to get a yes. And yes, sales is going to be a grind. And I treated it like a grind. And when I taught it, more importantly, I taught it in the same way. And I wondered why most people I taught it to just didn't like it. One of the biggest people in my life who didn't like sales was my wife. So I found myself in a female gym selling females on female fitness, and I didn't feel very congruent. We'll talk about why congruency is important later. But it was at this time where I had the aha moment where I decided to completely revolutionize how we sold. I know that I've done one-on-one free sessions before in the past, and they somewhat worked. But I didn't want to go to free sessions. I didn't want to just give away trials and hope and pray. I wanted to create something that really took a person down a pathway of discovery of themselves. And that led me to the ultimate aha moment. And that was, well, if most people who come to us want to be stronger, then why not create a process where I can show them how they are weak, where they are weak, and what they need to strengthen to be strong. So that led down the path of creating this perfect date formula. The perfect date formula is where you can identify what the client actually wants, but also create a first-hand experience where you demonstrate exactly where they are, so point A, exactly where they need to be, you show them that path, and you show them the steps in between. Now, if you think about communication, words are about 7% of communication. How you feel, the environment you're in, the subtle cues, back and forth, body language, they all have a huge influence on the communication at the end of the conversation. And if you've ever done a free one-on-one PT session, by the end of it, when you say, hey, would you like to do this more often? you get a lot of yeses because of that one-on-one nature. So taking that formula and adding some bells and whistles, we have ourselves what I call the strength assessment. So a strength assessment should highlight deficits relative to their demographic. So if you think about a 40-year-old woman coming in, she's likely coming close to being perimenopausal. So things that she's going to start to care about is her bone density. Doctors are probably going to be talking to her about that, as well as hormone health and energy. Compare that now to a 25-year-old who's just wanting to shape her body, feel confident in swimwear. She's probably going to just be more focused on how can I get a tighter waist, build some glutes, have some more shape. Now, whilst these goals are worlds apart, they are actually very close, and you can create a system where both of those women are catered for. In this case, what we have here is 3 exercises where the first one is a ATG split squat. Okay, so that's ass to grass, if you don't know what that acronym means. And the goal here is to get 10 reps body weight, full hamstring calf contact. Okay, and that's level 1. Level 2 is being able to have 50% of body weight on the back doing the same movement. And then level 3 is 100% of your body weight on your back doing the same thing. Now, this tells us a few things. For the 40-year-old woman, it's going to tell us how mobile and how strong hips are, how mobile ankles are, how strong knees are. Okay, so if she wants to go and start doing some cardio, go for a run, it's going to give us an indication as to how likely it is her risk of injury will show up at a certain point. The walk for life is a really great tool to use to indicate the longevity of a person. So longevity experts agree that a woman who can carry 75% of her body weight for 1 minute in her 40s will be more likely to avoid dementia, osteoporosis, and live an independent life in the last decade of her life. And obviously, if that woman can do more, then that's even better. And then we have our core component, which a lot of women are concerned of their pelvic floor, core health. Maybe they've got some back pain. And this highlights that. Now, 2 minutes in a full plank is a big ask, but that is what a lot of physios will have as a benchmark for core and back health. So we use that to our advantage. And by having these exercises in this order with a card that they can tangibly hold and take away with them, they have received value. And that's essentially all they've come in for. They've wanted to have a question answered for them, and that is, how strong am I? And by taking them through this process, you've answered that question for them. This little card here is beautiful because it also sets them up with the awareness of how long it's going to take to improve. So if, for example, they fall in this live column here, we explain that as, well, you've just got enough strength to live, not live long or perform well, just live. And if you're below live, which a lot of people come in below live, it's likely they've got osteopenia or they've got some back health problems. If they're younger, then they're not building glutes, they're not getting the results from the gym that they're trying to sort of go after because they just don't have the strength there yet. Okay. The same goes for the walk for life. We changed the wording a little bit for different demographics, but ultimately what you're trying to do is you're trying to show them where they are, where they should be, and the gap in between. And if you can pave out the pathway and refer back to clients or even show social proof up on the wall, we do both, where you can say, hey, this woman here, it took her 6 months to go from live to long. You're going to get a lot of buy-in and a lot of trust and build a lot of authority for yourself. So Off the back of this lesson, I hope what I've done is I've planted a seed and I've helped you think about your sales consultations a little bit differently. Some action steps that you can take here are to think about the most common person that comes in, or even just the most common problem that you solve for people who come in. And with that, I want you to design your own perfect date. Craft an experience that's going to take them through the steps of finding out for themselves how strong they are, or how fit they are compared to where they need to be. So you could do this in multiple different circumstances. Say someone wants to get into the police force. Well, you can do a beat test with them or take them through an obstacle course. And then you can go, okay, well, this is where you are. This is where you need to be based on all of the people that I've worked with who have gotten into the police force. You need to be here. This is where you are. This is how we get there. And then at the end of the assessment, it's as simple as saying, would you like help in fast tracking this result? And I guarantee you, based on our data, we get 8 yeses, 2 no's, and those no's are usually circumstantial. They are, I don't get paid until Wednesday. I just don't have the budget for it. Those types of things. And those types of things can be mitigated as well. So how we mitigate that is on the pre-qualifying stage. Because I'm sure you would agree, taking an hour out of your day to take someone through a strength assessment, it's a cost. It costs you money in time. But if you've got staff, it's also going to cost you wages. And you don't want to be letting everybody into this assessment. You want to make sure they're very well pre-qualified. So when I first recorded this video, I was only going to give away the strength assessment card, but I'm feeling generous. So if you want the strength assessment card, so you can just plug and play into your business, it'd be perfect if you run a female dominant strength and fitness kind of studio. If you want the strength assessment cards and you'd like to see the questions that I ask every single woman in an automated way prior to coming to their strength assessment to either qualify them or disqualify them on whether or not they should turn up, then just drop strength assessment in the comment section around this video, wherever you find this video, and I'll make sure I get that to you. Please consider liking, subscribing. It all does well for the algorithm, helps me get this content out. My big mission at the moment is to take what's working for us and give it away, because I think, well, for example, we have near on 100 members and we're in a suburb of Brisbane with 45,000 people, 50% of which are women. And that's a lot of women. We can't serve all of those women, let alone in other cities, towns, states, countries. So the more of this information that gets out, the more people I get to help. And as a fellow fitness professional who's struggled to build business, to break through, and having done that now with a beautiful gym, 6 trainers, I'm not involved in sales anymore. It's all female. I've got all this time in the world. I need to find something that I can fill my time with, and helping people like me really does help to fill that gap. So that's enough rambling. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know how you go crafting your own perfect first date, and I'll see you on the next one.